Well, we have a new car. I bought this one on a little bit of a whim. It's the TK10 from PD Racing. This, though, is the brush version, the very cheap brush version. Over in the US, you'll probably know this better as Redcat Racing. Let's have a look at it. Let's put it through its paces and see if it's any good. So here we are, the TK10 from PD Racing. This is the brush version, and I'll tell you what the difference are between this and the 4S version. Apart from about £130 difference, there isn't actually as many differences as you would think. A pretty nice looking transmitter actually, really surprised. Takes 4 AA batteries, got your steering dual rate, steering trim, throttle trim, 50, 75 and 100 for your speed. Somebody new to the hobby or a child, then you can turn that speed down. You've got a throttle reverse, steering reverse, and then you do actually have some extra buttons here. They don't actually do anything on this car. On and off button at the top and foam on the steering wheel. Does feel really nice. I think somebody with quite big hands may not find this as comfortable. It is quite a small controller, but for me, it really feels nice in the hand and it's very comfortable and does everything that you want it to do. Yeah, really impressed with that actually. Because this is a brush version, you do get a 3500 7.2 volt NIM battery, which I've not used a NIM battery in a long time. Dean's connector on it though, which is adequate for a battery this size. I'd probably recommend though getting a LiPo 2S battery for this car. You're going to get a lot more power than you will for this. And this isn't going to last as long as a LiPo battery either. You know, you're probably lucky to get 10 minutes out of this battery runtime. USB charger, which is going to take quite a long time charging that NIM battery. I'd recommend again getting a decent charger, especially if you're going to go onto LiPos. But yeah, it's included and it will charge that battery. Manual, which is both for the truggy version and the truck version, and it's also for the 4S version as well as the brush version as well. Tells you all your setups for the ESCs, gives you a breakdown of the car. Not very detailed in the sense that it doesn't go through like how to change your diffs or shocks or anything like that, but it gives you enough information to get the parts you need. And then the back there's all the parts list as well for everything. So it's not too bad a manual, not the best. I think though, if you're on a really tight budget, this brush car could be for you. £169 retail here in the UK, which is not a lot of money at all. Not for the size of the car you're getting, and it's very upgradable to brushless in the future as well. If you can stretch your budget, I would probably say look at the 4S, but a lot of this car is going to be exactly the same as the 4S, and I'll show you what the differences are. Has 17mm hexes, which is really good for a 110 basher. The hexes are serrated as well, which is really good, so they're not just going to fly off. Tyres and wheels feel really nice. A really soft compound, do have foams in them. Nice looking rims there, I quite like them. What I do like is how deep the hex goes into the actual wheel there. You shouldn't actually strip these very easily. They are ventilated from inside, not from the outside, so if you're running a lot of wet weather, I would probably seal up the holes on the inside and re-vent on the outside. But yeah, feel very grippy, very soft. Probably will balloon quite a bit, especially when you put a bit more power through it. As you can see, you've got 17mm metal hexes. Look really nice quality, and these hubs look really nice quality as well on the front of the car. The body comes with good old body clips on it, so none of that messing around with a clipless system. I know some of you love that, some of you don't like it, but this has gone old school. I do really like these clips though, because they come out very easily, and they've got this little plastic retainer here which actually protects your body from getting damaged from the clips, which is a really nice feature, and they're obviously tethered to the actual body as well. Body itself, really like the detail on it. It's obviously not official, but it does look really nice. Flatbed truck, haven't gone excessive with the stickers or anything like that. Looks nice at the front as well. No real protection on the inside. Does feel very flexible and quite thin, so we'll just have to see how it holds up, but not the worst body I've ever seen. And it does look pretty cool, I quite like it. It'd be nice to have it in different colours. You can only get this in black here in the UK, and that is it. But as I said, this is more or less a Redcat racing car, so there's plenty of bodies out there which will fit onto this chassis. And for those of you who know Redcat, you'll recognise that chassis immediately. It's a very Redcat. So it's a full composite chassis. The plastic feels really good quality, and it is meant to be hardened plastic as well, and extra tough. Got these really nice side guards as well, which would keep out all the dust and muck from getting on in the inside. I do like to see this on any cars, and it does look like it's going to do a good job of keeping all the rubbish out of there. It has an integrated plastic shock tower which integrates over to the actual chassis itself. Seems really well made. You've got big bore 16mm shocks, fully composite, but they are fully adjustable, and they do feel really nice and well set up as well. The bumper does feel like it's got some give in it, and it's got this kind of like plastic circle bit here which should give it some added strength. You've got telescopic axles on both front and back, and then this hub design here which works really well. Very similar to another well-known brand out there. A lot of similarities to this to another well-known brand out there, to be totally honest with you. The arms seem very well made. I mean, they look quite beefy and very basic, but very beefy, which is what I get from this car. As I'm looking over this car and unscrewing things and looking at it, it does seem very well made. There's 80% of the screws on this are 2.5mm. Not very many 2mm screw heads, which is absolutely awesome for a car at this price range. And the hardware seems very good quality. The way it's made, the plastics, the suspension, it just feels more premium than that price tag is. You do have fully adjustable steering on the front. You can adjust these here, and the top arms are non-adjustable. On the rear, you have a very similar setup with this nice big bumper on the back. Again, integrated shock tower into the actual chassis as well. Nice bigger arms, slightly wider arms on the rear as well, and slightly less long hubs. So it's not something you see very often really, but yeah, the arms on the rear are longer than the front, but they've made them the same by having shorter hubs on the back. This car does have full seal bearings absolutely throughout. You've got oil-filled front diff, oil-filled rear diff, and you have a slipper clutch in the centre. And that's one of the differences between this and the 4S version of this car. Has a full fluid-filled centre differential. The 4S version also has chassis bar here, which gives a little bit of extra rigidity and strength, although personally I don't know if you're going to need it or not with this car, because it feels very rigid anyway, but that's what's missing from this. But you do have the mounting points here and here, so you can retrofit from the 4S. The centre diff from the 4S will drop directly into this car, and it's only about £30, which is pretty good really. And obviously the main difference between this car and the 4S car is going to be your electronics. Comes with a brushed 590C motor. It's a nice big hefty motor, 60 amp BL ESC, which I think looking at it, it just looks like the Hobby Wing EL60. It looks a decent quality ESC, to be totally honest with you. It does say 2S only, but I'm sure you can run 3S on these. Might have to try that, but we'll see. Comes with a 9kg steel gear servo in there. So that is your main difference between this and the 4S, is your electronics. And then you do also have a metal aluminium drivetrain going through the middle. So yeah, between this and the 4S, the main difference are going to be the electronics and the drivetrain. Everything else in this car exactly the same. When you actually look at the manual, it does show those extra parts under the 4S version. So should you just get the 4S version really, save yourself a little bit of money? I think if you can afford the 4S version and you want to stretch your budget more, then go for it. I think if you're on a really tight budget, then go for this and then just update it gradually. I would probably start with the centre diff and then work your way out to the electronics. Now I got this because A, I want to see if this car is good for people wanting to get into the hobby, for beginners, for a young child or something like that, and B, how easy it is to actually upgrade it, and I already have electronics I can put into this. But there are a few things on this car that I am really impressed with, and this is going to be on this version and the 4S version. The first thing is where the battery sits in here. Obviously you've got normal battery straps, which feel alright. I mean, they're a cheap upgrade if they do snap, it's not the end of the world. Fits in the NIM battery that comes with it, absolutely no problem at all. But if you want to run bigger batteries, well, that is easy. So you literally take out this screw here, then this can be moved backwards and forwards, so you can fit smaller batteries in or bigger batteries in. I think that's really cool. And literally you just put it back to where you want it, get your battery out, measure your battery up, which one you want to put in, and then just slide this in to where you want it to go. Really nice feature that. I really like that. I'd like to see that on more cars. And then just simply screw it back in. The other feature I like is, so if you want to change your pinion or change your motor or something like that, this is one of the easiest cars I have ever seen how to do it, and I'll show you now. So literally all we're doing is taking these 4 screws out here, which hold the receiver box in. Then this screw here comes out, and then your motor just pops out like so. And there you go, that just came straight out. As you can see with this car, you have your normal motor pinion in there, but the great thing about this is because you've got this idler gear here, and it doesn't go, this goes then onto your spur gear, which is on your differential or your slipper clutch. If you're on the 4S version, it goes onto your differential. If you're on the brush version, it goes onto your slipper. What you can do is you can, well, put your motor in here, no problem at all. You've got a sliding mount here, so you can adjust your mesh. But the great thing is you can see your mesh through there. That's such a good design. Then your idler gear will always sit there, and that will always mesh up with your spur gear. I think this is a really nice design, and it just means you can set your mesh before you even put it in the car. And you've got another screw there as well. So you've got 3 screws holding your motor in place, and you've got these 2 tabs here actually that go into the car as well, and then that long screw goes through here and into the bottom of the car as well. So it's a lot there holding it on, and as you can see, it's a nice big size brush motor with a fan in it as well to keep it nice and cool. But I really like that design. I think that's really nice. This is an all-in-one unit as well, so your receiver sits in there in the bottom, which I think is quite nice. So it's kind of got this seal here, so it seals against the bottom of the chassis, and you've got your servo in there as well, and you've got your pretty old school servo saver there as well. Very similar again to another brand, but it works really well, all nice and tidy. And you can have a better look at the ESC there. It does actually say 2S only on there, so I wouldn't recommend running it on 3S. But you've also got these tabs here, which I'm sure will fit most Hobbywing 3S and 4S ESCs straight onto there, which is pretty cool. Then you can just slot your motor straight back in, like so. Clicks back into place. Put your screw in there, screw your receiver box straight back in, and you're ready to go. If you've worked on an Army before, you're probably going to be all right with this. Yes, there's a few differences like that bit there, but taking off the bulkhead, it's just, I think, 6 screws from underneath. If you take off one of your upper arms as well to make life a little bit easier, and this whole unit just comes straight off, and you can get right into your centre diff there as well. I think that's one of the things I'm more impressed with this car than anything else. It does feel premium. It doesn't feel cheaply put together. The quality of how this is made and how it's set up and the ease of working on this, for me, it just seems awesome. But the real test is, how is it going to run? What's it going to be like at the BMX track? So that's where we're going now. Let's get this out. Let's give it a run, and let's see how she does at the BMX track. Obviously unbrushed. It's a bit overcast, so I do apologise if the quality of the actual video is not amazing. We've got no sunlight at all. Looks like it's going to absolutely pee it down, but we shall see. Fingers crossed it won't. I'll tell you what, it handles well. See how she jumps. Not loads of power, but handling well. Definitely great fun. Oh, nice. Well, it's not going to break any speed records, but it's good fun. Definitely needs a bit more power. It's great fun this. It's not the fastest, but for somebody starting off in the hobby, absolutely brilliant. Jump's nice though. Jump's really nice. Just great fun. That's battery gone. We've got it back. We've got it all cleaned up. And how did I find that? Well, I have to be totally honest, it was a little underwhelming. But that's not a bad thing. It just means that I was running stock as it is out of the box with a NIM battery. You know, you sticking a 2S battery into this is going to give you a little bit more power. But I think for a child or somebody new to the hobby, then this could be one of the best cars out there. It handled really nicely. It did have enough power to have a little bit of fun with it, don't get me wrong. The battery life wasn't great, but it never is with NIM packs. Again, if you're going to buy this, get yourself a 2S LiPo as well, you know, 5,000 miles, something like that. You're not going to have any difficulty fitting a bigger battery in the car anyway, so you might as well just get one. But if you can afford to put your budget up a little bit more and get the 4S, I would get the 4S. At the moment it's on offer in the UK, £299, which for this car with a 4S system I think is an absolute bargain. There's nothing in that price range, especially at 4S. You know, your Armour 3Ss and 4Ss are more expensive. Even your Rally 4Ss are going to be a little bit more money than that. So yeah, it is actually a really good bargain. Haven't really durability tested it yet, as you saw. Couldn't really get enough height or power to see how it does really handle. But the shocks and the actual car handled really well as it is. But in the next video, we're going to put a 3S system in this first, because I want to upgrade this as cheap as possible. So I'm literally just going to put a new ESC in it, which I've got lying about, and a motor that I've got lying around. Everything else is staying exactly the same, all the gear and everything like that. We're going to run it on 3S, see how the gearing holds up on this with the 3S. Then we're going to go to 4S. But I just want to say, I think this will be a nice 3S basher. And I think that extra speed and power with a 3S will make this fantastic. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with this car. I just think for the money, for £169, I mean, what else can you get for £169 in this scale? You know, this is a similar size to the 4S Armours. It's not far off the size of the 4S Outcast. Size-wise, again, it's a similar size to the Corelli Punisher 4. It's a good size basher, and the quality, from what I can see and from running it, is really good. But yeah, watch out for that video will be coming very soon when we stick a 3S system into this. Remember, if you like this video, hit that like button and hit that subscription button. Really do appreciate it. And if you like this video, then check out one of these videos up here. Happy RCing. Thank you for watching.